Let's go for a ride. Today we're going to ride what used to be called Squaw Peak Road. Let's take a look at what that route looks like. So we're going to start up Springville Canyon, head north, end in Provo Canyon. Beautiful dirt road. This used to be Squaw Peak Road. Now it's called Khyv Peak. I'm not sure if they've renamed the road, but the actual peak that used to be called Squaw Peak is now called Khyv Peak. In 2022, the federal government mandated that all federally owned properties stop using any derogatory term, and it turns out that the word squaw was an old native word that people have come to use in a derogatory manner. So they've renamed it. During the riding season, just about every morning, I made it a habit of taking a ride before heading into the office for the day. Sometimes they were short rides, 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes they were long rides, 2 or 3 hours. This one was a good lengthy ride that ended me in the office probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, just in time for my first meeting. I guess the length of ride depended largely on what my morning looked like, what kind of appointments I had, what my calendar was filled with. I always appreciated the days where I had a few hours to go take a ride and start the day off with a fresh mind and dirty feet. The winter before this was exceptionally heavy. Lots of snow, lots of water, so there's lots of green grass and brush and trees right going up this canyon here. Nice little view off the left. The road's nicely packed. A couple of sections of loose rock. Most of it's nice and packed and pretty well groomed, except in sections where there were avalanches. We see here in a few minutes there's some really obvious evidence that there were avalanches as the trees are leaning. Go left, go left, go left. Come on, man, go left. Oh, man, go left. Always go left. But as the trees are leaning downhill, you can see the weight of the snow pushing them over. And with that debris on the road from the inevitable sliding of the land underneath the snow, it's actually kind of cool to see how powerful that snow is. Khyv Peak isn't an exceptionally tall peak, only about 7,700 feet above sea level. It got its name, Squaw Peak, originally from a battle in 1850 where a Ute chief, his wife, happened to fall from the peak to her death. And after that, because at the time squaw was just a term meaning woman, the peak got the name Squaw Peak in honor of his wife that died. Of course, that term has come to be used in derogatory ways as time has gone on, and so we've been trying to strike it from our vocabulary. Beautiful view up here. I should stop up here and take a picture. This would be nice. Yeah, the spot will do. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's the south end of Utah Lake, Springville, maybe a little bit of Spanish Fork down there, some Payson. Great view, beautiful cloud cover. On with the show, let's keep riding. rocky here. You can see the trees leaning to the left, the evidence of the avalanches that occurred over the winter. It'd be interesting to see those happen. I'm not sure if they're fast avalanches or if they're slow kind of snow slides. Incredibly powerful, whatever they are. You can see those trees, just how much weight and power was behind that snowpack. And of course the extra rubble on the road that came with that snow. Still some snow hanging around in the shady parts. Slow melt. With evidence of the trees bowing to the western gods. Some of the trees actually snapping off and crossing the road. Given the turmoil of the winter, this road is in exceptionally good shape. Some of the other roads I've ridden during this season were really beat up from the snowfall. Super rutted, lots of potholes, difficult to navigate. This one's still exceptionally well. Nicely packed, not too loose. Aspen grove here. Starts to cool down a bit. Starting to reach some elevation. Let's speed things up a bit. Not boring, but a lot of the same. Lots of trees standing straight up. Lots of trees leaning to the left. Lots of dirt, lots of rocks, beautiful views. We can skip some of this. But at some point, you do have to kind of stop, take a breath, and enjoy the view. Watch the clouds roll over. Beautiful workhorse that got me up here. And let's get back to the road. Using the Rever 3D overlay map, it's kind of cool to use this because it takes your GPS tracks that you've recorded using Rever and it overlays them on a 3D map that shows you exactly where you've been. It's kind of cool to watch this as you carve through the mountains, up the mountainside, overlays the pictures that you've taken on your trip. Kind of a cool visual tool.
You guys good? All right.
Throughout the ride this morning, I noticed my tire pressure, both front and rear, was slowly going down. Starting at 42 in the back and 36 in the front. By the time I got to this point, it was probably 36 in the back and maybe 29 in the front. As I was riding down the hill, well, that was close. As I was riding down the hill, I noticed that the front air pressure was going down little by little. By this point, probably 25 psi, 21 psi, 20 psi, maybe getting dangerously low. starting to get concerned about it. The rear pressure is still low, but not lowering. The front pressure is dropping precipitously. So I'm thinking I've got something I got to take care of. I'll find a spot up here, turn off and see if I can figure out what's going on with that tire, see if I've got a puncture or sidewall tear or something like that. There weren't any exceptionally sharp rocks up here, but you never know. You never know when that one little sharp rock can go between the tread and puncture the tire. So I pull off to the side here and pull out my air compressor, put a couple of pounds in the front tire, see if it holds it, and head on. Doesn't appear to be any obvious punctures in the front tire. Not sure what's going on. Sidewalls look good. Let's grab the compressor and throw some air in it. At this point, I'm looking for a tire pressure gauge, which I didn't happen to have with me, so I have to rely on the built-in gauge of the pump, which I can't imagine is super accurate. But I throw some pounds in there nonetheless. Move on. Coming to the mouth of this canyon, it dawns on me that I've got a full workday ahead of me. Coming to the intersection of Highway 189, Provo Canyon Road, it kind of saddens me that now it's time to get to the office. I'm going to head on a 20-minute ride. Throughout the ride, I notice the air pressure stays the same, but by the time I leave the office for the day, I notice my rear air pressure is super low, like 10 psi.
Battery level is low.
Aired it up at a gas station, and then by the time I got home, I did an inspection of the rear tire and found out there was, in fact, a puncture. There's a screw, about a 2.5-inch long screw deep in my tire that I had to pull out and go and get patched. Lucky I made it home.
Goodbye.